everybody, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. So this is part 2 of me rescuing a German Shepherd off the streets. So in my last video, you saw him going into the live trap. So we had used 2 live traps because the first one was a little bit too small for this dog. So in the last couple clips, you saw him inching into that trap. That was not how we caught him. Let's just say it like that. So we set up again and put the trap out. We put all kinds of yummy goodies in the trap for him, you know, a trail leading up to it. We did fries and a hamburger and sardines and chicken and wet food and treats and so many things. None of it got him all the way in the trap. So we kind of had to regroup. So we noticed that he was more open to following us around because we had food. So he was like, oh, I know there's food in that trap, but I'm not going in there, but you have food, so I'm gonna come to you. So we ended up kind of sitting on the ground for quite a while, like off and on, seeing if we could get him to come up to us and either like eat out of our hands, or we could eventually grab that short little leash that he had on, or maybe we could put another slip lead like over his head and of course tighten it so we could get a hold of him. But that was a process. I would say we were there for 5 hours, I think, in total. So right here is where we started using little Vienna sausages to create a treat trail up to us, and he got pretty close, but not close enough for us to ever like pet him or grab that leash. He was definitely a little like hand shy and a little nervous about coming super close to us. And then I did try to get him accustomed to the leash and see if we could possibly get his head in the loop. We tried a few different angles, but that wasn't really a success. Again, he was very, very jumpy and like very hand shy. So anytime we would move like that, he would step back. And when you're working on a rescue like this, it really does take a lot of time to build trust. And the smallest little distraction or noise around you, like someone walking by or an ambulance passing or construction noise, can kind of break that trust and make the dog scared and wander off again. So yeah, it's really a process, and you have to have a lot of patience. And I think right here, a second ago, was where he took it out of my hand, but that only happened, I think, twice, and then he would not take it out of my hand after that. So like I said, this day we were both here for about 5 hours, so we hit around 3 o'clock, and we did not have any success either getting him by hand or in the trap that we had set up here.
You don't like my hand? What's wrong with my hand?
He's like, I think the other day you can't fit.
Just need to give up.
And we did still have the trap set up here, so every now and then we would kind of walk off, give him some privacy, and see if he had any interest in the food in the trap. And of course, he would just follow us because, again, he knew that we had the food and didn't want to go into the trap. And then he just decided to kind of lay down in front of us and, you know, really taunt us. And boy, was this guy sneaky. So right here, I put some water out in a plastic container, and he decides to steal it and spill it all over his face. So like I said, we spent quite a long time there. We were not successful in anything that we tried. So we did have to end that day with him staying in that same spot. And this is what he decided to do overnight. He came up and stole a camera of ours and stole an antenna off of another camera. So this right here is the next morning. We did recover the camera and had to try a third kind of trap, which is called a missy trap, which is essentially a large kennel that has an automatic door. So it's much less scary to the dogs because it's not a confined space. It's more of a, an open area where they can just go in and feel a little bit more safe. So we started luring him in with food. Oh, and a really funny story about this day. So we couldn't find him when we first got there, so we had the trap set up. He came around for a little bit and then disappeared. And so the only way we ended up finding him was because I saw him itching his ears, and I saw the shadow of his ears flopping around behind a tree, and he was just hanging out, completely ignoring us. It's ridiculous. So again, right here, I'm trying to lure him in the trap. So we made a trail of like meatballs and little sausages. And my plan was to sit inside of the trap as he came in and as the door closed. But that ended up not being the best situation. He was a little bit freaked out about me being inside of the area with him. So I ended up stepping outside about a few feet away, and I recorded it in the next clip. So we took him back to my house and got him set up in my garage just because he wasn't vaccinated and did have some fleas. So we weren't able to, let him meet our dogs and our animals yet. So he did accept some pets here, but he was really nervous and just didn't know what was happening and what was going on. And the next morning, it was pretty funny. He would only eat his food and also his tummy medicine if I hand fed it to him and tossed it, which was weird because he still really wouldn't let me pet him all that much.
Good boy. Ready? Go get it.
You're being dramatic. Knock it off. Good boy. That's a good boy.